Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. This is iAllegedly. And I've got a great one for you today because I'm in Oceanside, California on the Strand. And I'm right outside the Oceanside Pier. There's a lot of news to cover, national news. Most of it bad, but we're going to cover a lot of it. We just had an abysmal jobs report number that the truth is starting to come out with this stuff. People are starting to understand that things are bad, really bad, and nothing's being done about it. So before I get into it, please take a second to hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share this with all your friends and colleagues. Don't forget, guys, we have an email list that you can join. Sign up below. It's in the video description. Click on it, sign up. We don't send out a lot of emails, but when we do, it's usually something important. So sign up for that. We just got a jobs report number that was completely abysmal. The Economists made a prediction that there would be 500,000 jobs added in the month of September. That's not what happened. There was 194,000 jobs added. Now, the worst part about this is if you pay attention to anything, and that is every Thursday they give you the first time unemployment job numbers that come out. Comes out in California, we get it at 5:30 in the morning, and I get up for those and hear those. And we have had over 300,000 people file for first-time unemployment claims every week for over a year. Now, again, people are not all unemployed. They get jobs, situations change, they are on unemployment for a few weeks, they get a new gig, whatever. But when you add this up, they're trying to tell us that with only 194,000 full-time jobs added, that unemployment actually went down in the last week. That is ridiculous, guys. It went down to, just under 5%. That's insane, guys. I don't believe that. I believe that they're not counting people at this point. So, how do you not think that we are living on the Titanic? They're polishing the brass right now on the Titanic, and we're supposed to feel that this is all good. Hey guys, this is crazy, absolutely crazy that we're supposed to not think that things are as bad as they are right now, because I'm telling you guys, they're horrific. Now, this beach that I'm on, tide comes in all the way to this concrete area right there, and then you get a lot of wet sand, and then it dries out. Everybody hangs out here, but nice family area, lots of places to park. And Oceanside, where I'm at, is right next to Camp Pendleton. So we have a lot of Marines and a lot of the military that live down here. Great place to live, fairly inexpensive to live as well. But again, lots of families, lots of people hanging out for the day. A lot of people came down to San Diego because they were concerned about the oil spill. I've already talked to 2 people that are surfing down here, telling me that the beaches, some of them are still closed that they like to surf out, and they wanted to come down here, which again is cool. But these job numbers, guys, are horrific. In a real world, okay, pre-health crisis, our stock market should have been down this week another 5,000 points. It should have been the end of the world, but it's not. It was actually up at one point, and then it was down, and then it just drifted off into nothingness. And the plunge protection team is working overtime, to say the least. But guys, right now, things, there's just no reality in anything. So let's get into it. Share your thoughts. I really want to know what you guys think about this, because I'm going to cover a lot of this today, and we'll come back to this, okay? Plus, there's a ton of cops out here too. I love beaches like this where you just see plainclothes, undercover, and heavily protected area. It's nice, okay? It feels safe. Anyways, share your thoughts. Here's something that's incredibly disturbing, and that is that wholesale prices rose In the month of September, 8.3%, which is the highest amount in over 10 years that we've had in a 1 month period. And this article out of CNBC was talking about how everything has gone up and it's a huge problem and we haven't seen numbers like this in 10 years. Now, here's the problem. If you go back and you just search CNBC, you find out that in June, it was 7%. And then in July, it was 7.3%, and those were both record months as well. So guys, this is something that we're living through that is absolutely catastrophic month after month. But these are the wholesale prices. These are what the stores are paying. These are what the restaurants are paying. This is what's happening right before our eyes. And if you don't think that the price of everything, from pencils to gas to food in your house, everything is going up right now. And again, this is what's catastrophic. This is the number that's going to absolutely destroy people. Now, I have a brother that's very fiscally responsible, and we were talking about people's budgets and how people need to sit down, whether they have a family or it's just them by yourselves. What does it cost you to live for a month? Do you know that number? I do. I know exactly what it costs me to live for a month. Now, here's the thing. If food goes up, I'm ready for that. If fuel goes up, I'm ready for that. But people should know what these numbers are, because what's going to happen if your food cost goes up 25% in a month, 40% in a month? What happens? It's starting to get cold. I mean, it's not cold here, clearly, okay? People are out enjoying the beach on an October day, but it's starting to get cold in parts of the country. What's going to happen if your energy costs go up 40 and 50% this year? Are you ready for that? Because there are people out there on fixed incomes that are absolutely going to have huge, huge problems. Now, here in California, there's certain things that are good where you can contact your energy company. They will make you deals. They'll make reduced payments. They'll do things like that. But again, we don't have spikes like you have in places that snow and things like that. Yes, it gets hot. Air conditioning, prices increase in the summer months. But, like right now, it's not affecting anybody. So, I really want to know, are you ready for that? Do you know what your expenses are? Do it for yourself. I'm telling you, you'll feel so much better. It's not a crazy waste of time. Oh, I can afford it. I make so much money that I don't have to worry about things like this. Good for you, but you should know what it costs you to live for a month. Do you just go spend money willy-nilly? If you do, it's kind of crazy, especially with everything going up right now. Everything is going up. But these wholesale prices, again, when numbers like this get released, this number was like put at the bottom of the news. You had to find that. And again, the stock market should be down thousands of points because of this, because we're having records set month after month after month in wholesale prices. A friend of mine goes to a restaurant. Mexican restaurant, it's got all this grilled stuff. It's got a smoker. They have all this great food. Talked to the owner. The owner had beef go up, the carne asada, the good stuff, go up 50% since springtime. 50%. We just didn't raise our prices at first, and we were losing money on certain dishes. But the way that this guy explained it was 25 main dishes. He had 5 that were high-end dishes that people don't buy all the time. They lost money on those dishes. And hoping that one person's gonna buy carne asada and shrimp and things like that that are expensive, and the rest of the table is gonna buy tacos and enchiladas and things like that to make up for it and to compensate for it. What a horrible way to run the business. But that's the sign of the times. He finally had to give in and raise the prices on everything. Some people are upset about it, some people are not. But you're going to see this more and more and more and more. So share your thoughts on this. Again, the wholesale prices, everything in your business is going up. Are you ready for this? Are you prepared for it? as we go into the end of the year, we're gonna have month after month after month with all the supply problems and everything that's happening. We're going to have nothing but problems in the near future with all this stuff. And it's just going to get to be a bigger problem. So share your thoughts on that. I really wanna know what you guys are seeing. A lot of surfers out here. Based on how the coastline goes, you have different sized waves at different places. Based on if you have, you know, beaches face south, west, whatever. But this place just is really consistently small waves. And I am no surfer, but I've just grown up here in California and know these worthless trivia items. So again, share your thoughts, guys. Here's the staircase that leads to the pier, which is kind of cool. It's a very tall pier. It goes out really far too. But with the hiring and with the job numbers, one thing that's really interesting is this time of the year, people in school districts normally hire more teachers, bus drivers, custodians, the noon lunch lady that watches over your kids so they're not beating each other up at lunchtime. Those jobs are normally hired in August and September. Didn't happen this year, guys. There was like 122,000 jobs that didn't get filled this year, which is surprising to me because even teacher jobs were not in that list this year. So you had a tremendous amount of people that didn't go back to work in these different districts. I don't know if it's because of online teaching, whatever, but it just didn't happen. So I get up to the top of the stairs up here. They really rebuilt this area. You've got a ton of condos, kind of a Miami feel, Fort Lauderdale, but they added some nice places here over the last 5 years. Really nice. And again, this is cheaper than going south or going north. This is the cheapest beach you're gonna find around, okay? So, that being said, the whole thing with hiring people and jobs right now is crazy. My daughter went to a haunted hayride last night and was totally disappointed for two reasons. Because the haunted hayride in Calabasas is huge. It's world renowned. People go there to get scared. She said the hayride was so big, they had very few scare actors, and they used to have a ton of them that would constantly jump out on you when you're getting pulled on the hay sled, whatever you call it. Anyways, when she gets up there, we're hiring scare actors. If you guys want to be a scare actor, you can work here. So even the haunted hayride is having problem hiring people, guys, right now. It's crazy. So again, it's not a career, but if you were single, if you were young and you wanted to have a job that would be cool, go work at the haunted hayride. Think of the women, think of the dudes you'd meet. I mean, come on. But they can't fill those positions right now. Now, what's the problem? I asked my daughter. Maybe it's low pay, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Maybe it's only you'd have a month's worth of work in the evening time, dressing up, scaring people. That being said, now, spoke to another person that tried to give me an explanation of this, and she worked at a coffee house. And she said, here's the problem. When the PPP money came out, so many people got PPP money. And this person reached out to me and said, hey, I'm just curious as to what my boss got if he did get a loan. And at first, the boss lied to everybody and said they didn't take that money. And this guy took 380 grand of that money and cut everybody's wages, cut everybody's hours from 40 hours a week to 28. No more than 28 for 4 months. They had this. And then to make up for it, here guys, here's a bonus for everybody. Here's 10 hours of overtime for you guys. That's what they got, 10 hours of overtime. And this guy got over 350 grand. So ridiculous, okay? People are, I'll never go back and work there again because he did that to us, okay? Well, I don't know if that's lingering, if that's the problem with everything, but people are upset about this. And share your thoughts about this, because the wages and the jobs, this is continuing, guys. the lifeguard just did a warning where he wants everybody on the north side of the pier to move to the south side of the pier because the waves are dangerous for whatever reason. They don't look particularly big, but I'm sure it's tides and fun stuff like that. So they want everybody to move to be safe. So people are taking their time doing that. But this pier, again, it's really long, it's old, it's rustic. It's got a really high railing, which seems very safe. There's a ton of people out here today too, that you can see. So again, nice place. And as far as beaches go, this is just an inexpensive place to live over the other beach communities. So tons of restaurants down here, all that stuff too. Now here's basically 4 stories wrapped into one, and they all concern Tesla. Tesla, since its inception, has been a California-based company. Yes, it has factories and different places around the world, but its headquarters has been in Palo Alto since it opened. And this week it was announced that Tesla moved everything out of Palo Alto and moved it to Austin, Texas, and they're building the plant right now. During their shareholders meeting, they announced this. Now, there's a lot of things that have happened, and during the health crisis, one thing that happened was Tesla refused to close its manufacturing plant at one point, and one of the politicians, I won't say her name, did a tweet where she said F Tesla, F Elon Musk, and kind of stuck with him during that time. And I really think that this was one of the things that got to him, because he's sick of the fact that the state didn't appreciate the fact that they were there, okay? So here you've got the richest man in the world who basically told everybody what he was gonna do. No attempt was made to save this guy. He sold all his real estate and basically foreshadowed exactly what he was gonna do and moved everything. That being said, the next thing is all the oil companies are talking about the energy transition from oil to solar, wind, everything else. And this is something that's not going to take a couple years to do. It will take decades to do. And the oil companies know that. Elon Musk knows that, but he's also getting all this money from the federal government that you and I don't get. So the guy's a genius from that point. And you know, the next thing, the Gigafactory, Elon Musk and the Gigafactory in Berlin has been changed to have a festival. They're going to have GigFest in Berlin, and all these people are going to be there. They can handle a crowd of at once of 9,000 people, Ferris wheels, rave music, DJs, food, just craziness in Berlin. So again, you know, share your thoughts on all this stuff. You're a big fan of Tesla. I had somebody write me and tell me that they have a 420-mile trip to get to Las Vegas and don't have a Tesla, have a regular electric car, and don't know how they're going to do it because these normal charge stations are too far away. So again, between here and Vegas, there are hundreds of gas stations. It's not maybe 1,000 gas stations between here and there, but this guy's not going to be able to make his trip to Vegas because he's concerned about running out of power. And again, from Orange County to Las Vegas, it's a 4-hour drive, okay? Imagine not being able to do that because you have to stop and re-plug in. And because he has certain cars, he's not going to be able to do that. So share your thoughts on this. Limited mileage, all that stuff that he has to deal with. Where if he had a regular gasoline car, oh my God, gas? Yeah, if he had one of those, he could get there straight, okay? Or if you had a car like mine, you can get there and back without having to refill. Anyways, share your thoughts on that, guys. I really want to know what you think. Apple and its parent company just filed an appeal to the Epic Games lawsuit that they lost that would have completely altered the App Store forever. They won an injunction. They want it stopped to where third-party links cannot be put on the App Store, and a judge is going to hear this in November. So right now, they're not going to comply, and it'll take until November until the first decision is reached on this. But this could take years until you see third-party links at the App Store. Now, again, you know, We all use the app stores, you know, with our phones and different things. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Next thing is there's a man in North Carolina that could get sentenced to 20 years in jail because this degenerate went out and had over $250,000 in returns to Amazon that were completely fraudulent. And this guy had a scheme where he bought over 270 items and then returned over 250 different items, saying that they were faulty. So this guy had hundreds of transactions with Amazon. Let me just say he would buy an iPad and then send a cheaper product back in the return. Amazon was onto this as early as 2016, but this guy did it to the tune of $290,000 was the total amount. So this degenerate went out and did this over and over and over. And, you know, from talking to the law professor, this guy could have been nailed for wire fraud and all these other different things, and pled guilty and will be sentenced in the next month and could get as much as 20 years in prison for that. But again, this is the type of stuff that when somebody pulls these scams affects all of us. So again, if you return something and think, oh, I have a great idea, I'll return the cheaper iPad, they'll be on to you, and this guy is going to go to jail for that. So again, that's a crime, okay? So share your thoughts on that, and I'm glad he got caught. And again, it was so blatant and so much. The story will be below and you can read it because it's just crazy that this guy did as much as he did. I'm going to end this thing on these last two stories. And the first one is a sad one. And that is, after 23 years, Bobby Flay is leaving the Food Network. Okay, he was one of the original people that helped start the channel. Everybody loves Bobby Flay. I love Bobby Flay. Think of all the things I've learned from this guy, and his contract negotiations broke down this week. And his agent reached out and said, through all the trades and everything else, that it's over, Johnny. He's not going back, and he's going to be something new, and it will be announced shortly. So that's sad. And I mean, when you think about it, that guy's show beat Bobby Flay, all the different cooking stuff, all the barbecue gigs he's done. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, all the different shows that that guy had on the Food Network. Complete success story. And again, guys, if you ever wondered, you know, that ginger has been connected with some of the hottest women on the planet. Learn to cook, guys. That's all I gotta say, okay? Number two, the other thing is Subway, one of our favorite things to talk about here over the last few months. Just had the tuna lawsuit dismissed. And Subway really did a PR nightmare on this thing, where they didn't really slam anything. They just said, we're happy that this improper lawsuit has been dismissed. Again, they didn't sit there and say, we have, you know, real wild-caught tuna, and it was meritless. It was just ridiculous, their statement. So, share your thoughts on this. Are you guys racing out to Subway and their new menu, the new healthy menu that it seems nobody's eating right now? So I haven't been back since I heard the tuna could be a concoction of different things that was tested. And because they didn't have proper standing, these two women that filed the lawsuit had it dismissed, which doesn't mean it was not real. It just means that the lawsuit was not properly filed and they could not have been proper plaintiffs. So we'll see if it gets refiled. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to join the email list. If you want more connection and contact with me, please join the Patreon channel. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon. Hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of Oceanside today. It was fun. I like this place myself. It's, again, one of these places that I need to spend more time at and come down to. And it's beautiful, you know, it really is.